We're happy you could all come in spite of Bandh and other disruptions which are not very unusual for our country. So I'll request our director, Professor V.S. Ramamurthy, to make the opening remarks and we get started. Professor Ramamurthy.
Admiral Vijay Shankar, friends, good morning to all of you and welcome to NIAS once again. What's happening in Iran? What it means to us? What it means to the rest of the world? These are some of the questions which are agitating the minds of many people in India, abroad, everywhere. If you are a regular reader of Western press, and if you are also a believer of what is printed there in those press, you would by now be convinced that Iran is a rogue state. It has an active nuclear program, civilian, of course, for energy. It is a signatory to the Non-Proliferation Treaty. Since NPT allows civilian nuclear program, up to that there is no problem per se. But there are reports that there is evidence of enrichment activities in Iran. The nuclear watchdog says, IAEA, says, we suspect enrichment. I am not aware of any specific instances where they have hard evidence. On and off we hear there is evidence, some suspicion, there is no evidence. So I really don't know. I have attended several meetings, not formal meetings, corridor meetings, even in Vienna. And it's not clear what exactly is the situation. I don't know. You also realize that, therefore, I don't believe the Western press 100%. I have a certain amount of reservations on what is printed there. Of course, Iran keeps saying, no, we don't have an enrichment program to take us to the weapon domain. But we do have an enrichment program because NPT says under the NPT we have a right to enrich for civilian use. If I can have a civilian nuclear program, why can't I enrich for that purpose? An argument which of course is not accepted by the Western world, but an argument we keep hearing from Iran on and off. But the conclusion from the Western world is they are defaulters, they are violators of the agreements, particularly the NPT norms, and therefore needs to be controlled, maybe. The matter has gone right up to the Security Council. We are aware of the 3 Council resolutions and consequent sanctions towards military hardware, sanction towards oil exports from Iran, gas exports from Iran, sanctions on banking, a whole range of them. One after the other, they are all coming here. Where it will lead to, we don't know, but we certainly believe that things are not cooling down. They are actually raising the temperature. Where it will start boiling, I don't know. Irrespective of the assessments, it's clear the comfort levels of people like us are not very high. We do feel a little uncomfortable on this. Iran is not yet another Middle East kingdom. It's not one of those kingdoms of people who are moving from place to place on a camel, and then suddenly they discover they have a pot of gold under the camel. No, Iran is certainly do not belong to that class of countries. It has a very long history. Iranian culture has been as long as civilization has existed. In fact, my state, Tamil Nadu, former Chief Minister Karunanidhi says that I come from the Aryan clan, the invaders of the Aryan invaders, that means I also belong, my forefathers also belong to Iran and in that part of the world. So it has a very long civilization, no question on that. More importantly, even in the recent decades, it has had a good educational system. I still remember the Pahallu University in the pre-70s, Pahallu University, and I vaguely remember, I don't know when I went there, when I saw it, or was it only photographs, I don't remember, but they said it is exactly a replica of University of Washington at Albany. The same architect designed it, they built it. They had a large number of international faculty, including some professors from India, and their education system has not been bad. Their S&T system has also not been bad. Late 90s, I did visit Tehran, and I went to one of the biotechnology laboratories. It's a very well designed and constructed and had some specific achievements to their credit. And I was also somewhat flattered to see that the boss of that center said that I am a student of an Indian institution. He studied in India before starting this center in Tehran. So clearly, Iran is not something which can be taken off as a country which suddenly can't do that by some clandestine method. They have a strong foundation. They have also been allies to us in many instances. Iran has been a friend of India, whether it is the matters of Afghanistan or Pakistan or many other issues. They have been our allies. And of course, even my wife knows that we are talking of getting the energy supplies, the natural gas from Iran, and one of these days that we will have plenty of fuel. Today, 31st, is a clear day when we are reminded of our dependence on the external world for our energy supplies. So Iran is something which we cannot ignore. So at the back of my mind, when you are lying upside down and not thinking of anything other than some random thoughts, we start thinking, are we seeing a repeat of Iraq, Libya, and things like that? You know, there is many people do believe that the weapons of mass destruction bogey was floated around basically to settle some other scores. And then we saw the entire thing, and today we see that no great achievements have been put on record, whether it is Afghanistan or Iraq. I don't think the war has left a better place to live. Not only in Iraq and Afghanistan, in the entire world, it has not made the world a safer place. But the kind of messages which we were getting at that time, that they are sitting on a stockpile of weapons of mass destruction, and we have to settle this once for all and ensure that the world is a safer place to live, doesn't seem to be right. So these are matters of concern for us. What is happening? Of course, the bottom line is, with so much of dependence on Iran for our energy needs, we have an immediate stake in it. What happens in Iran is of importance to us because we are dependent on them. We need a lot of energy from outside, resources from outside, and Iran is a major supplier. We have enough problems already because of the sanctions on the banking sector. We have to worry about how to pay. And there is no unanimity on this, and then sometimes we are also seen as allies of our enemy. My enemy's friend is also my enemy. We get into that syndrome. What's the impact on the other countries of this, let's say, the oil embargo or the gas embargo? It's somewhat uncomfortable to see that if there is a total ban on any oil or any energy resource import from Iran, who will suffer on the face of the earth? They are all Southeast Asian countries. So it appears as if that this part of the world is going to be more vulnerable for any disruption in that part of the world than the people who are imposing the problems. So these are issues which need to be discussed in detail. And then you may ask, okay, after all that you may keep on discussing, what happens? You are not a major player in this. You can't change the history because the history is being written by some other set of people and you are not one of them. Maybe true. But on the other hand, not knowing it, ignorance about what is the implication of all this is not a strength either. So whether we can change history, a different issue, but at least if you know that there is a need to change history, then we should, that's the first step. And then we will have to worry about what needs to be done. So these are very, very, as I see, it's a very, very complex issue, an issue which cannot be ignored, even if you can't do anything about it. Even if you are a helpless spectator in the whole thing, you shouldn't be a blind spectator. That's a very unusual combination, blind and spectator, but that's what we are most of the cases. So I'm very glad that Admiral Vijay Shankar proposed that why not we have a round table on this. And he is one man, of course, he has seen the world from a perspective of security. And you are all here. And I hope at the end of 2 days we will be slightly having a better clarity than what we have at the moment, at least what I have at the moment. With these words, let me once again welcome all of you to this roundtable, and I hope you have a productive discussion. Thank you very much.